Once upon a time, in a small village, a terrible plague spread, causing fear and sadness everywhere. People locked themselves in their homes, afraid to step outside. The streets were empty, and the once lively marketplace was silent. Amid this darkness, there was a young man named Leo, known for his bright smile. Leo was a traveler, always seeking new adventures and experiences. He had just returned from a trip across distant lands when the plague hit. Despite the fear, Leo remained optimistic, believing that every problem had a solution. He decided not to let the plague steal his joy or his love for travel. Leo began visiting the villagers, one by one, offering them words of encouragement. He would stand outside their windows, telling funny stories from his travels. His stories were filled with humorous encounters with strange animals and peculiar people. The villagers, though scared, couldn't help but laugh at Leo's tales. Laughter spread through the village, a sound that had been absent for too long. Leo also brought little souvenirs from his travels, like seashells and colorful beads. He left these tokens at the doors of the villagers as reminders of the world beyond. "The world is still out there, waiting for us," Leo would say with a wink. The villagers began to feel a flicker of hope, thanks to Leo's positivity. But Leo didn't stop there. He wanted to do something more. He decided to visit the local doctor, an old man named Dr. Hart, who was overwhelmed with work. "How can I help?" Leo asked, his eyes full of determination. Dr. Hart, tired and worried, looked at Leo and sighed. "We need medicine, but the roads are blocked," Dr. Hart explained. Leo's eyes lit up with a plan forming in his mind. "What if I find a way to bring the medicine here?" Leo asked excitedly. Dr. Hart was skeptical but saw the hope in Leo's eyes and agreed. Leo knew the mountains well, having explored them on his many adventures. He packed his bag with essentials and set off on a journey through the treacherous paths. The journey was tough, with rocky cliffs and narrow trails. But Leo remained positive, singing songs to keep his spirits up. He encountered wild animals, but his friendly nature won them over. After days of travel, Leo reached the town where the medicine was stored. The townspeople were surprised to see a traveler, as no one dared to leave their homes. Leo explained the situation and the need for medicine in his village. The townspeople were moved by Leo's courage and quickly gathered the supplies. With a cart full of medicine, Leo began his journey back home. The return journey was even more difficult as a storm had begun to brew. The wind howled and the rain poured down, making the paths slippery. But Leo didn't give up. He knew the villagers were counting on him. He sheltered under trees, telling himself stories to keep fear at bay. The thought of the villagers' smiles kept him going through the harsh weather. Finally, after a week of traveling, Leo returned to his village. The villagers cheered when they saw him, their spirits lifted by his safe return. Dr. Hart rushed out, amazed that Leo had succeeded. "You're a miracle, Leo," Dr. Hart said, tears of gratitude in his eyes. The medicine was distributed, and slowly, the villagers began to recover. The plague lost its grip on the village and life started to return to normal. The marketplace reopened, and the streets were filled with laughter once more. Leo's bravery and optimism had saved the village from despair. The villagers decided to celebrate Leo with a grand feast. They cooked the best dishes and decorated the village with flowers. Leo, always humble, insisted that everyone had played a part in overcoming the plague. "It was our hope and unity that brought us through," Leo said with a smile. The villagers danced and sang songs, their hearts light and joyful. As the sun set, Leo stood at the edge of the village, looking at the mountains. He knew there were more adventures waiting for him beyond those peaks. But for now, he was content to be home, surrounded by his friends. The villagers begged him to stay, not wanting to lose their beacon of hope. Leo laughed, promising that he would always return, no matter where his travels took him. "And I'll bring more stories," he said, making them laugh. The next morning, Leo packed his bag, ready to set off on another adventure. The villagers waved goodbye, their hearts filled with gratitude and love. As Leo walked down the path, he felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. He had made a difference in the lives of others, and that was the greatest adventure of all. Along the way, he met a group of tourists who were lost in the mountains. They were scared and unsure of how to find their way back. Leo, with his extensive knowledge of the area, guided them safely to their destination. The tourists were amazed by Leo's kindness and asked him to join them on their travels. Leo agreed, always eager for new experiences and friendships. They explored hidden valleys, climbed majestic peaks, and swam in crystal-clear lakes. Every moment was filled with wonder and excitement, and Leo shared it all with his new friends. The tourists were inspired by Leo's positivity and courage. They learned to see challenges as opportunities for growth and adventure. Leo's laughter was infectious, and soon they were all laughing together. Even when they faced difficulties, like crossing a fast-flowing river, they did so with confidence. Leo taught them to find joy in every situation, no matter how tough. The tourists began to see the world through Leo's eyes, full of endless possibilities. They thanked Leo for showing them that life was an adventure to be embraced. As they parted ways, the tourists promised to carry Leo's lessons with them always. Leo waved them off, feeling content that he had touched more lives. He continued his journey, always moving forward, never looking back. Everywhere he went, Leo left behind a trail of hope and laughter. Villages, towns, and cities all welcomed him as a hero and a friend. But Leo never sought fame or recognition. He simply loved the joy of living. He found beauty in the simplest things, like the way the sun rose over the mountains, or the sound of children laughing as they played in the fields. Leo's heart was light, and his spirit was free, unburdened by fear or doubt. He believed that life was a gift to be cherished every single day. And so, he traveled on, his journey never ending, his story ever unfolding. The plague had been a dark time, but it had taught Leo the value of hope. He knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, he would face them with courage. For Leo, the world was full of wonders, and every day was a new adventure. His life was a testament to the power of positivity and the joy of exploration. And wherever he went, Leo brought light into the lives of others. The world was a better place because of his optimism and kindness. And so, the legend of Leo, the traveling optimist, grew far and wide. His story was told in villages, cities, and towns, inspiring many. Leo became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in dark times, there is light. The villagers who had once been plagued by fear now lived with hearts full of joy. And as for Leo, he continued his journey, always seeking, always finding. The world was his home, and every road led to a new story waiting to be told.